Today is a good day. It's WrestleMania. It is officially WrestleMania Saturday, the in-ring return of The Rock, brother versus brother and ladders. Oh my, this should be a fun night to kick things off for a fun weekend here of WrestleMania. What's going on, world? It's your boy Tommy on the spot for Watch Along Wrestling. Hopefully everyone is getting pumped right now. Maybe you're sitting in the parking lot of Lincoln Financial Field, tailgating away, and you're throwing on my video, and if so, awesome. What a great way to kick WrestleMania off for you. And I'll say this, ever since they've split WrestleMania into 2 days, I don't think that WrestleMania Saturday has ever been the lesser of two shows. I don't know if it's because they know that everyone's going to be tuning in for the big main event of night 2, but they do a great job in really loading the first night of WrestleMania up. I think last year's probably the closest they came. I really enjoyed the triple threat with Gunther and Drew McIntyre and Sheamus, and then obviously Roman and Cody I thought was a really good match. But even so, I thought night 1 was the better night. It was a super stacked lineup, and that's no different this weekend. 7 matches tonight, 6 matches tomorrow. If you don't know all of the matches, let me break them down to you, starting with what's going to be happening on the show tonight. It'll be for the Raw Women's Championship, Rhea Ripley defending against Becky Lynch. Both the Raw and SmackDown titles will be defended inside of a 6-pack challenge ladder match. So when the first set of titles is retrieved, it'll then go for the second set of titles. So the plan, I believe, is to split these titles up, though there is nothing that says that the same team can't win both sets of titles. And in that match will be Damian Priest and Finn Balor, the champions, taking on the team of A-Town Down Under, Grayson Waller and Austin Theory, The New Day, Kofi Kingston and Xavier Woods, Awesome Truth, The Miz and R-Truth, DIY, Tommaso Ciampa and Johnny Gargano, and A-Town Down Under, the team of Austin Theory and Grayson Waller. So that match should be great, lots of fun. I'll get into my breakdown of each one, though, in a few moments. Next up, it'll be Rey Mysterio teaming with Andrade. If you did not see SmackDown last night, there was a change. It was supposed to be Rey and Dragon Lee. Dragon Lee was taken out, presumably by by Dominic and by Santos Escobar, but it was never revealed who did take out Dragon Lee. So he has been replaced by none other than Andrade, who will be having his first in-ring action outside of the Rumble, teaming with Rey Mysterio to take on Santos Escobar and Dominic Mysterio. Moving right along, it is going to be brother versus brother, Jimmy Uso taking on Jey Uso. It'll be in a 6-woman tag team contest. It's going to be the EST, Bianca Belair, teaming with Jade Cargill and also Naomi to take on Damage Control, the team of Dakota Kai, Asuka, and Kairi Sane. Then you're going to have the Intercontinental title match, Gunther defending the title against Sami Zayn. And then, of course, in our main event, the Bloodline, the team of The Rock and Roman Reigns, taking on Cody Rhodes and Seth Rollins in a match that is being billed as the greatest and biggest tag match in WrestleMania history. So it should be a lot of fun. What a cool night of action. I'm going to get into it here and talk about everything. But really, what a fun deal this has been for me. I'll get into my WrestleMania experience at a later time. I'm not in Philadelphia right now. I was earlier this week. I went to WWE World with my daughter, who I love dearly. Give a good shout out, Dakota. Can you give a little woo? Oh, I think she might have fallen asleep on the couch. But we went to WWE World. We had a blast. We checked out the Superstore. And then we've been back here kind of taking everything in. Did the Hall of Fame, watched that last night. Paul Heyman's speech was one for the ages. Getting ready to watch NXT Stand and Deliver here in just a few minutes. So I'm actually trying to have an all-encompassing WWE programming week, something I don't normally do, but with being home this year, it kind of is just, it is what it is. And for me, I'm really looking forward to, kind of the culmination of all of this with tonight's night 1. What a great build I think it's been. Really exciting time to be a fan of WWE. So let's get into all of the big matches here of the evening, starting, of course, with the Raw Women's Championship. Rhea Ripley defending the title against Becky Lynch. This match, to me, is going to be great. I think Becky has had an incredible year. Her time down at NXT, I think, was really underrated. I actually just picked up her book, and I'm getting through that now, which has been a lot of fun to read through that. And I think she's been on quite a run, and it almost feels like this is going to be the time to change the title, but I don't see it happening. I think the theme of this entire weekend is really going to be about the 3 big title reigns. Rhea Ripley has just hit 1 year. Gunther is the longest reigning Intercontinental Champion of all time. And Roman Reigns obviously has held his title for over 1,000 days. It's been incredible. And I think it's kind of, hey, well, who's going to lose their belt? Who's going to retain? I'm going to start with a retain here. I think Rhea Ripley does retain the Raw Women's Championship. And I think, honestly, I think it's just, I think they really enjoy Rhea in this role. I think Rhea still has a lot of juice left. Is kind of, will she eventually break off of the Judgment Day? I don't think she necessarily needs to. I think she's a beloved, figure, whether she's a heel, whether she's a babyface. I don't think it matters. I think, she's mommy and she's somebody that everyone really enjoys. So at the end of the day, I think Rhea is going to retain here and defeat Becky Lynch. Moving right along, the tag team championship match. This is interesting. I do think they're going to split the belts. I think you're going to have the Raw Tag Team Champions, and you're going to have the SmackDown Champions. You're getting a lot of teams that are traditionally on Raw. Judgment Day, DIY, Awesome Truth, New Day, all on Raw. The SmackDown side of things is really just A-Town Down Under and the New Catch Republic. So I'm not sure where they're going with this. So maybe New Day's on the other side too. Maybe they're on SmackDown. Who knows? In any event, I do expect that you're going to have Damian Priest and Finn Balor retain the Raw set of tag titles. And then I do think you're going to have the SmackDown titles shift over. And I think that's going to be the big one at the end for Awesome Truth. Awesome Truth's got to get this win. They've done a good job building both of them up. I mean, who would have necessarily thought they'd have a match? I'd say outside of the stuff with the Bloodline, the build for this has been on par or even better than many of the other matches of the weekend. Maybe the exception, of also maybe Rhea and I'd say the women's title matches, both of those title matches have also been built up really well. But, Awesome Truth, I think is a big story going into this is to, them back together. I like the R-Truth stuff. He's very entertaining. Once in a while, I think it's overdone. I don't think he needs to be getting involved in main event matches with that stuff. So it'll be interesting, but I think, the big story at the end of this is going to be Awesome Truth taking the titles away from the Judgment Day. And then eventually, I think when the draft happens, you're going to have somebody go over to SmackDown with those SmackDown titles and somebody stay to Raw with the Raw titles, which I think works. I don't know that you need one set of tag champions for each show. There's a lot of teams on each show, so makes a lot of sense there. Moving right along. Boy, it feels like Rey Mysterio would recruit for a tag partner before he choose Carlito, doesn't it? Starts with Dragon Lee and brings him into the LWO. And then last night, Andrade steps up to be his partner. It's like he hasn't even thought about Carlito, and I think that's going to be your story going into this match. I think Carlito is going to turn on Rey and Andrade. And I think Santos Escobar and Dominic Mysterio will get the win. So Dominic, 2-0 at WrestleMania. Actually, 3-0 at WrestleMania it would be for Dominic. I don't think he's lost once at Mania, so he'd kind of keep building his WrestleMania resume, if you will. But I think Santos and Dominic get the win here. I'm happy they were able to get this match going. I think when Rey got hurt, I think it lost a little bit of steam, if I'm being honest. So it's good to see him back in it. It's weird they kind of shoehorned Dominic into this thing. He hasn't had any role with Santos Escobar until very recently. I almost feel like going into this, it should have been all of the LWO going against all of Legado del Fantasma, and that should have been your WrestleMania match. It's been building for so long. But this is the way they went with it. But yeah, you could see Carlito at this point. I wouldn't even be surprised if Andrade is attacked during the pre-show and if he's replaced by Bad Bunny. And then Carlito turns on them. It's coming. He's overlooked on twice. You almost feel for Carlito here, which is interesting. I watched this and I'm like, wow, why is Rey such a D-bag, right? Carlito's right there. Why is he not picking Carlito to be his partner? So very interesting, and I guess more to be seen here. But my pick for this match is Dominic and Santos Escobar. Moving right along down the card here, we're already getting to our one of the big matches here of the evening. It is going to be brother versus brother, Jimmy Uso versus Jey Uso. And interesting to note, in both brother versus brother WrestleMania matches that they've mentioned a couple times, Bret versus Owen and Matt versus Jeff Hardy, the heel in both of those matches have gotten the win. Owen defeated Bret, one of my top 3 favorite WrestleMania matches of all time. That's how high I think of that match. I love it. And then Matt Hardy also defeated Jeff Hardy in a match that I don't think is really, folks don't normally go back to that match, but I do remember being very happy Matt Hardy got the win. Matt Hardy's always been one of my favorites as well. So who will win tonight? Will Jimmy get the win over Jey Uso? I don't think so. I think you're going to go with Jey Uso in this one. I can tell you right now, from being in Philadelphia, there's always that one guy who's the most over guy of the weekend. Back in 2018, it was Rusev. Back in 2019, it was Kofi Kingston. Everyone was all about Kofi Mania. This weekend, it is all about Jey Uso. Every kid is getting up there doing the WrestleMania entrance, and they're either doing Cody or they're doing Jey Uso. The down since day one-ish. That whole thing is so popular. The Yeet is so popular. Everyone's got the Yeet glasses. and I think Jey Uso gets the big win here. He's got to get a win, right? I mean, Jimmy Uso has screwed him time and time again. I think he gets the win over Jimmy tonight at WrestleMania. Move right along, the 6-woman tag match. This one kind of came together last minute. It will be Bianca Belair teaming with Naomi and Jade Cargill going up against the Kabuki Warriors. I don't even know if that's still their name. But the team of Asuka and Kairi Sane, and they will be joined by Dakota Kai. Really happy that Dakota Kai got on this show, so I think that that's a really cool deal. I think she certainly deserves the spot on the show. Part of me, though, to be honest, I do think it would have been cool to have the SmackDown tag titles here. But, it is what it is. I think without question, if I had to pick one for sure winner, it's going to be Team Bianca in this match. I think they've started to mention her WrestleMania streak. She's undefeated at WrestleMania. I think that no way is she going to lose a random six-person match. And I'd be pretty disappointed if it does happen, because I'd like to see where they go here with this new streak. So I will go ahead and choose Team Bianca to get the win. And I do expect Jade Cargill to get the pin here. They have a lot of high hopes for Jade Cargill. She has a real aura about her. And I'm excited to see where they go with this match here. It should be a lot of fun. All right. So I think this match here is being, building. They've released the... some folks here have put together that this match is going on second from the top, that being Gunther versus Sami Zayn. I will say that a couple weeks ago when Gunther won the gauntlet, Sami Zayn won the gauntlet to go after Gunther, I wasn't feeling it. I was really thinking it would be cool to see Chad Gable there. I feel like it's a bit of a step back for Sami. He was in the main event last year and was involved in the biggest story in WWE for a long period of time in the Bloodline. I think he gets a lot of credit, honestly, for the Bloodline being what it is today, because I think his involvement there really drew even more people to really get emotionally invested in the Bloodline storyline. So for him now to be going for the Intercontinental title, it just felt a little bit off, but they have done such a good job with this element of Chad Gable, a part of the Sami Zayn and Gunther match here. Notice Chad Gable was not a part of the Andre yesterday. He specifically is a part of this match, and he's been great. He's been great as the coach for Sami Zayn. I don't know that he's going to turn, because, again, I've already picked that Carlito's going to turn. So it'd be weird to have them have two turns on this. But I do not see Sami Zayn defeating Gunther. I really don't. I would love to tell you that somebody's going to be losing one of these long titles, but night one, I can't pull the trigger on it. I think Gunther retains. It doesn't feel like Gunther held the title for this long just to lose it to Sami Zayn. I think the story is eventually for Chad Gable to get that title, and I'm sure he can go through Sami Zayn to get it, but I'm going to go with Gunther retaining the championship. And then, of course, it'll be The Rock and Roman Reigns going up against Seth Rollins and Cody Rhodes. If you have been in WrestleMania weekend and down in Philly, this feels like the main event of the weekend. Yes, people want to see Cody finish his story. Yes, people want to see Cody and Roman too. But this match here with The Rock's involvement, I think, without question, is your match of the evening. This feels like the main event. I think it's going to be a lot of fun. I think it's going to have every bell and whistle you can possibly imagine. And at the end of the day, the stipulation here is that if The Rock and Roman should lose this match, then the Bloodline is banned from ringside for tomorrow, and it'll be a straight one-on-one match between Cody and Roman. If, however, The Rock and Roman are able to defeat Cody Rhodes and Seth Rollins, then it'll be Bloodline Rules tomorrow night. And I think the story of the weekend, the story here is that it will be Bloodline Rules tomorrow night. I predict Roman Reigns and The Rock are going to get the big win over Cody and Seth, and I expect it to end with The Rock hitting Cody with the rock bottom, people's elbow, 1, 2, 3, and The Rock gets the Bloodline Rules for Roman and Cody tomorrow night. That makes the most sense to me, and that's what I think is going to happen. And then imagine the storylines and the twists you can go. If Cody is to win tomorrow night, he's already got his challenger in The Rock. Should Cody lose, you can have Roman and Rock kind of going back and forth now. That Rock was able to beat Cody, why wasn't Roman? So many ways you can go with it, but those are my predictions. Let me know what you think in the comment section below. Enjoy WrestleMania Night 1. I'll be back with my thoughts on the show at some point, and of course my preview for tomorrow's WrestleMania Sunday. Until next time, everyone, take care and have a good night.